Thanks for the support as a channel member, Freddie Finlow. Well, folks, we're back on our travels in the FA Cup again today. First round away from home against League One Lincoln. This time last year, it was this FA Cup run that completely derailed the season and everything went wrong from here. So I'm kind of hoping that doesn't happen again. Hello and welcome to part 13 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our FA Cup first round tie away against Lincoln. We're also at home against top of the table Fylde in the National League North. There's no way any of this could go wrong, right? And it's episode 13. It's all going to be fine as long as we hit 5,000 likes. If we don't, it's probably all going to go wrong again. So I would really appreciate if you could hit the like button. As you know, massively helps the channel, keeps the momentum going. Thank you for the support on that so far. Since the last episode, things have been going okay. Where were we in the last episode? I think we played quite a few matches. I think we were around here. I don't think you saw me concede 6 goals on camera. Did you? Did I let you see me concede 6 goals on camera? Maybe we did. That was a bad day. We got absolutely battered by Boston. But then we won a couple of games off the back of that. We beat Hereford in the league. Bideford, we knocked out of the FA Cup in the third qualifying round, putting 6 past them. But then lost 2 games in the league to Chorley and Nantwich before a win over Altrincham, and then knocking York out of the FA Cup for, I think, the second season in a row we've knocked York out of the FA Cup. But then we went on a horrible run of 4 league games without a goal. Never mind 4 league games without a win. 2 0-0 draws, including one against bottom of the league local rivals Nuneaton. And then we lost 1-0 against both York, who we'd already beaten in the FA Cup, and Spennymoor. Considering the goal against York in the FA Cup was a penalty as well, at this point we hadn't scored a goal from open play in 5 matches. But then we played Gateshead and Elliot Andrew got a hat-trick and everything's all right with the world again now. Ignore that. I don't know why it's glitching and saying we switched the tactic again. We really didn't. It's saying we did multiple different tactics. We absolutely didn't. Let's do the confirmation like we did last time. There you go. It was the 4-2-3-1, the tactic we've been using all season pretty much. And I think it is working quite well, despite that terrible run of form and that terrible run without scoring a goal. We are 16th in the league, so doing better than we were doing last year. Doing better, I was going to say doing better than the media expected, but we're actually up to 13th on the media prediction now. I'm not really sure how or why, but we are. 24 points on the board, so we're ahead of the Kev ratio. Game in hand as well. If we win our game in hand, we could go up into the top half of the table. But the game in hand, I think we'll probably have 2 games in hand because of the FA Cup run. So that's not likely to happen. And one other piece of news is we've sold a player who came in the summer. He didn't like the fact that we brought him in as a star player and then didn't use him. I tried to downgrade him to a squad player. I tried to reason with him. I've gone through this process with 4 or 5 of the boys who came in with the summer. Everyone else has kind of agreed to the new world, apart from Jeremiah Chilakoa Mullen, who really dug his heels in, put himself on the transfer list at his own request, and Braintree immediately came in and offered us cash money funds for him. £775, not £775,000, like I said last time we sold anyone. But we have now sold another player. Lovely stuff. And I think this guy came in after the last episode as well. A new centre-back. We said we needed to address the centre-back situation. So we've got David Okagbu, who is an Irish under-18 international. He is 18 years old, 6'1", hopefully got a little bit more growing to do, but 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. And he is a decent option for us at centre-back on loan from Stoke. I'm quite impressed we're able to get a player on loan from a team as big as Stoke. That seems like a good thing. Of course, with all that said, we now have to go into 2 matches today that we're almost certainly going to lose because Lincoln are in League One and Fylde are flying high at the top of the league and looking like certs for promotion. So this is going to be fun. Lincoln away then in the FA Cup first of all. They actually, of the teams we could have got in this first round as an away game, Lincoln have got a capacity of around 12,000, I think, yeah, 12,150. So this is probably one of the bigger draws we could have got when it comes to money coming into the club. It looks like they're averaging around about 8,000 fans for their home games this season. If we can get to that again for this match, That'll be a nice little cut of that for our share. That'll probably be our highest gate receipts of this series so far, maybe. I'm not sure how much we made in the second round last year. Yeah, because that was at home. I imagine it would be more than we made against McDonald's last year. Definitely more than we made against Darlington this time last year. I think it would be our highest gate receipts so far, which we need because we're hemorrhaging money, even though we're largely keeping within our wage budget, to the point where the board are happy that we are working within the wage budget, even though we're not. So if you don't tell them, I won't tell them. We should be fine. But we could do with an injection of some cash. This is the team for the Lincoln game. We're going with Hawkins in goal, a back four of Ondo, Okagbu, Hill and Lewis Brown, Chong and Cornish in midfield, Vigar, Warrington and Marsh Brown supporting Andrew up front. We have been playing Amari Theodros from the bench recently. I know a lot of you said off the back of the transfer special, I should just be playing him straight away. I'm not just going to throw him straight into the first team immediately, partly because he doesn't really fit into the system. When he comes on, it's usually to play as a box-to-box midfielder. He's come off the bench 4 times for us. Not really done anything spectacular just yet, but doesn't look out of place either. So we'll keep giving him opportunities from the bench in the hope that at some point he does force my hand and make me play him, which obviously is the dream, to have a 16-year-old who's got the amount of potential that he's got, big upside on him. If we can get him established, especially because he's got the youth contract, the full-time contract or part-time contract that he's due to sign at the end of his youth contract. I think at the moment he can't be bought out from under us because he's still on a youth contract, but with another contract pre-arranged. So we could keep him around for a while and potentially sell him on or use him to, drive us up the leagues. But I'm thinking, looking at the way the finances look like such a disaster, selling him on would be a good idea. What's less encouraging is I've just noticed only 4,000 people have turned up for this game. Clearly, the people of Lincoln, not particularly inspired by an FA Cup game against non-league, lower half of the table opposition. Lincoln are having a struggle of a season in League One themselves. They're down in 19th place. You would think they'd want to turn up today to watch their team grab a few goals. But I suspect, as a lower league fan myself, the fear amongst the Lincoln fans will be they'll look at this tie and think, oh, God, we're having a rotten season. Now we're going to lose against Leamington, even though they're not. It's very unlikely that that's going to happen because we're having just as much of an iffy season as they are. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. I don't know how many. Does it say on the screen there how many of those? It doesn't say what the split of these are away fans, but if there's only 4,000 people in the ground, I don't know. What's the distance between Leamington and Lincoln? Probably quite far. But I would travel. I think if I was a Leamington fan, this is the kind of match I would travel for. Have a little stroll around Lincoln during the day, check out the cathedral and the castle, walk up Steep Hill. Well, a lovely day out. Chong squares it to Andrew, and Andrew scores. See, they just needed the inspiration of Steep Hill talk. Don't worry, this isn't a Tom FM video. You haven't accidentally clicked on one of those, which is the only way you can find yourself to Tom FM's channel, surely. Tom knows I love him, really, or does he? But we're 1-0 up, and this. I mean, look, if you do want more Lincoln facts just scattered throughout all of the content, Tom is the person to check out, by the way. I'm not bullying him. You should go and watch him if you haven't already watched him. He just talks about Lincoln all the time. The man's obsessed. He'll probably tell you how his personal best running up Steep Hill. It's a hill that's quite steep. They're imaginative folk in Lincoln. Right, we are winning though, which is very unexpected. It's completely against the run of play. Looking at those match stats, Hawkins, what a delight it is. What I'm enjoying most about this season so far is we've got a goalkeeper who can actually make saves. I mean, he doesn't always do it. We do still concede goals here and there, but even on that run where we weren't scoring goals, we only conceded 2 as well. We are pretty tight at the back now, and that's a beautiful save from that free kick from Hawkins. And as I say, absolutely against the run of play, but we are ahead, and that's all that matters. If we do that again in the second half against a Lincoln team who are going to be low on confidence, poor, in horrible form, we could steal one here, which would be beautiful. They've just had a very big opportunity right at the start of the second half with a header that they should have at least been testing the goalkeeper with, but they didn't, and I'm not going to complain about that at all. Only 30 minutes to go. We are still ahead in the game, and it's Lincoln's goalkeeper with the goal kick, and we just need to continue to defend solidly as we have done so far. Lewis Brown now has got the ball, playing it all the way back to Hawkins, and he clears it up towards Vigar. And we've got men forward here because Lincoln, of course, are starting to commit men forward to try and get back into this game. Vigar somehow has turned possession into his own attempt at a slide tackle and failed at both. And Lincoln have got the ball, lumping it forward to absolutely nobody. And Hill plays it back over the top, looking for Andrew. It's a poor pass, but he does keep the ball in Lincoln's half, which is where we want it to be. It's back with their goalkeeper again, which is where this highlight started. And since then, it's not really gone anywhere. So I suspect something is about to happen. And the fact that Lincoln have got the ball means it's probably not going to end well for us. It doesn't. Lincoln have got their equaliser, and that's probably the end of our little dream, the end of our nice day out now. Although, has the linesman got his flag up over there? I don't think he has. It would have been nice, but I don't think he has. And, I mean, I thought we were the non-league team. It's not quite Route 1. There is some nice little passing in there, but it is just a big lump up towards someone to cushion a header down to his buddy. We've only had 2 shots on target in this match. It's going to be a tall order to get back into the game, although, of course, a replay wouldn't be a disaster. Right, Vigar's having a terrible game. We saw it in action, so we'll bring Thomas on to replace him. I'm really tempted to bring Theodros on just to let him play against some higher level opposition and see what he does. It's probably a terrible idea. We shouldn't really be experimenting in games like this, but the idea of a midfield 3 of Chong, Theodros and Warrington excites me because they are all very, very good players with a lot of potential. So this is your first opportunity to see our new 16-year-old superstar slotting into that box-to-box midfield role in there. And if he doesn't look out of place, that's a good thing. I mean, that's basically how we're judging every appearance he makes at the moment. Did he stand out as being obviously not as good as those around him? And if he doesn't, we're happy. Right, Warrington is having a poor game, so I think we're going to bring Forsyth on for him. We're actually going to move Chong forward. In fact, we might put Theodros there because Chong, although we do it with him quite a lot, he is apparently ineffectual there, whereas Theodros is competent in that position. We'll try him there. Why not? Try him slotted in behind the striker. What's the worst that could happen? I was going to drop some encouragement. Then I remembered we're doing brilliantly away from home against League One opposition. So I'm just going to leave things well alone. And if the boys manage to conjure up a goal from somewhere, then all the better. But even if we concede here, I think we can leave Lincoln with our heads held high. It's back with Hawkins, who plays it forward, looking for Theodros. But in fact, it's Marsh Brown who's got the chance to break here. Marsh Brown plays it back across to Chong. Chong, we know he's got magic in him if he can find the right pass. It's back with Marsh Brown again. Crosses, low-driven cross for Andrew, who couldn't get there ahead of the goalkeeper. I think that's probably going to be our last chance of the game. One of our best chances of the game as well, but we're into the 90th minute. Oh, and look at old Route 1 Lincoln from the goal kick. I mean, really, we shouldn't be getting caught out by that. But the fact they've had to resort to that to beat us, I'm quite proud of our performance today. We're the team who've gone out there trying to play football, trying to do things the right way, and they've just beaten us with a couple of big lumps forward from their goalkeeper, which, if that's what a League One team has to do to win, then we're just going to... I think we've got the moral victory there today. You did brilliantly, boys. Hopefully we earned a few quid as well, and hopefully we can carry some pride and some momentum back into a league game against Fylde. We've got a few boys coming in on trial who they've been sat there on my shortlist without clubs since the start of the season. So we're just going to get them in and have a quick look at them as well. And we made about 40 grand out of that match. So that's not to be sniffed at. Let's just look at these boys who've come in online. Keaton Ward is back. He was here on loan last year. In on trial now. I mean, theoretically, he'd be our best midfielder. My concern with him is he wasn't last year, but has he got better? I mean, a few of these boys look very, very... I don't know that we could afford any of them, really. But if we have a look at the squad depth with those boys in, I mean, there's a few of them. See, Ward doesn't even get into... Where is he? He's all the way down there. So I think that's the problem with Keaton Ward. He might be a very good midfielder, but not in the roles we want him to play. He'd probably be a very good attacking midfielder, but we can probably only afford one of these. With the money that we've got, we could perhaps squeeze one of these players in I think it probably has to be the defender, because we are still in need of decent centre-backs. I wonder if we can get him. He was at Southport last season. Can we get you? Looks like we potentially can. Let's try and sneak you in and hope the board don't notice that we're overspending just a smidgen. There you go, 250. Can we sneak another one in as well? Because I'm looking at this guy thinking, I mean, he's quite good. Both wings. Much better than what we've got. Could be a proper creative force. 10 goal contributions in the National League last year. So the league above us. We are kind of... I've put an artificial limit, like a self-imposed limit of £300 a week on salaries, but this guy's so good. Maybe we try and bring him in anyway. He can even play up front. I think when we're struggling for goals, that's probably not the worst idea. And then Willem Tomlinson, I don't think we need. I think we're good in midfield. I think they're the two areas we needed to strengthen. Even in goal, I think Hawkins gets the job done. It'd be nice to have a 4.5-star goalkeeper. But ultimately, he was playing for Chester last year and nearly got relegated. And then they released him. So he ain't that good, is he? We'll go with those two if we can get him through the door without the board noticing what I'm up to. Well, after deciding to break the bank for that winger, he's gone to Hereford for less money than we were going to pay him. Hereford are below us in the league. Super. Just super. So this is the team for the game against, remember, top of the table Fylde. Hawkins in goal. Back four of Brown, Rice, Okagbu and Lewis Brown. Cornish and Forsyth in midfield. Deadfield, Thomas and Mooney behind Andrew up front. What I do want to do is just make sure that we have Theodros on the bench. We usually put him on instead of the goalkeeper, just so we've got him there as an option. We're constantly trying to force first team experience, first team football into him, and fingers crossed we'll eventually turn him into a player, because he's already nearly there. Lots of people telling me that they'd play a player like that much higher than this straight away. So I'm believing you. This is me putting trust in the comments section. After all the abuse you've given me over the years, I'm giving you one last chance to be right. If you're wrong about Theodros, then all will fall out. But I'm trusting you. I'm a very trusting man. Right, Fylde are on the attack. If we can play as well as we played against Lincoln, we should be okay. The only problem is, because the games are coming so thick and fast, we've been playing games every 3 or 4 days for a little while now with a high-tempo system. We've had to rotate the team around quite a lot again. I mean, I wouldn't even say this is a rotated side. I don't really know at the moment who my best 11 is, because I'm rotating so much because the games are happening so often. So I don't know if this is a weaker side or a stronger side than the one we played against Lincoln, which is alarming as the first team manager in November. I'm sure you'll agree, but we're still working things out. We've got a squad of about 18 players, and they're all, I think the issue is we've got about 18 players who are all roughly the same standard, and there really isn't very much between any of them. We don't have any real standout stars. And I think that's becoming more and more obvious as the season goes on. What we really need to make that step up to the next level is a standout star. We need a creative force in midfield, or an unbeatable goalkeeper, or a 30-goal-a-season striker. Really what we need is a 30-goal-a-season striker. And we just haven't got one. We've got 3 strikers who'd probably all get 15 to 20 goals if they played all year, which is fine for a bottom half team. I realise that. But if we want to stop being a bottom half team, I think we need that bit of quality that is your first name on the team sheet every week, always plays well, is always involved in the action, creating goals, scoring goals. We just don't really have that guy. That's upsetting. Referee, can we disallow that for anything? I don't think they did anything wrong, but I'd just kind of like a do-over. Is that a thing we can do? It's just such a soft goal. We are better than this. We shouldn't be conceding goals like this. He's just got between our 2 defenders there and effectively had a free header inside the 6-yard box. And now our left back's injured. We'll let this corner happen first. If we can grab an immediate equaliser here, that'd be super. But we just, all that talk during the beta of near post corners being overrated, overpowered. Oh, goodness me, I wish they were. I don't remember the last time we scored one. We should probably head into the data hub at some point and have a look. But I would say you could probably count on one hand the amount of goals we've scored from corners in this save so far, not just this season. And that's we had a 6'4" guy at the near post all last year, and he was just missing them all the time. We've got, I mean, you just saw there with Okagbu, they all just head it over. We need to be, I think the key is you need to be training set pieces as well. And when you're semi-pro like we are, and you only get 4 training sessions a week, you can't really put set pieces in because you need to, do the proper football stuff. And I think without training the set pieces, they are next to worthless, which is something I've never really noticed in Football Manager before, the impact of training something like that. But I think that must be what it is. We've talked about it a little bit on stream, where I am streaming most afternoons at the moment. You should check me out, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. We've talked about it a bit on stream, and I think that must be what it comes down to, the fact we're not training it. But I don't know what the solution to that would be, other than, I guess, let's stop trying. I mean, I think we've still got play for set pieces on. We may as well turn it off because we're just so ineffective from set pieces. So let's turn play for set pieces off and see if that... I don't really know if that's going to make much of an impact. I'm never really sure how much impact play for set pieces makes in the first place. I'd like to think we never find ourselves in a situation where we could cross but try and force a corner instead. If that is what's happening, maybe the fact we're so poor at set pieces, turning that off will mean there might just be the extra 2 or 3 goals over the course of the season that we wouldn't have got otherwise. And then I guess that's a good thing. Fylde have scored again. We did expect to lose today. We're not getting thrashed. We've actually been quite close with them so far. But I thought that, I mean, I was so conditioned last year that would have been a goal against us last year. It is nice having Hawkins back there. I talked about having an unbeatable goalkeeper. We're not far away. We've got a very good goalkeeper now in Hawkins. I do like him. So I don't think we needed the other 4 we signed in the summer. We've got one. We've got one who's pretty good. But we have dropped down to 18th place as things stand. Remember, 4 teams relegated this year. So 18th place isn't that far away from the relegation zone. And we don't want to be in a relegation battle again this year. I don't think we are yet. But we do need to go on a little run of a decent run of not necessarily wins, but just let's have an unbeaten run put together. Let's get some points on the board before we get to January. That's what we want. Points on the board before January. Right, let's make some changes. Thomas is going to come off. We'll bring Theodros straight on in there. We'll play him in there and let him play another 20 minutes in that position, continue his development. Deadfield has been poor, so Marsh Brown can come on for him, and we'll bring Vigar on up. Oh, we can't make any more substitutions. In that case, do we want to... I kind of want to get Vigar on up front, so we'll make that change instead. Deadfield can stay on. Right, let's encourage the boys. Let's just do something that looks good. I don't expect us to get back and draw, but it would be nice if we could grab a goal. It'd be nice if our 16-year-old did something special. Look how happy he is. He's over the moon to be on the pitch. Let's have him do something brilliant. The reason I'm forcing him so much is because I do believe that he could be that one special player that just grabs us by the scuff of the neck and drags us up towards the playoffs, because I certainly don't think we're out of the playoff conversation for this season. You got to remember, this is a team that... Jake? You got to remember that this is a team that we assembled entirely anew over the summer. They are taking their time to get their dynamics sorted. We are now up to good team cohesion, good club atmosphere. So off the pitch stuff is all going quite well. We haven't had anyone step up to be highly influential yet, which is a problem. But as this stuff gets better, we will get better on the pitch. The players seem to be enjoying themselves and believing in what we're doing. And yeah, we're 16 points behind Guiseley, which is a bit of a problem. But we're only 6 points behind 10th place Tamworth. And even if we don't make it to the playoffs, if we can finish in the top half, then that's steps in the right direction. And that's all we can really hope for. And then not completely rebuild the team next summer. Just add in 3 or 4 key players. It's a young squad. They'll continue to get better. It's all moving in the right direction. It's just much slower than I've ever known it in non-League to Legend before. FM22, not too easy. That's what we're learning with this series. If you've enjoyed this, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.